The next detail that we need to have a look at is in relationship to the wall-to-floor junction, which determined the minimum depth of the tile or the screed is what is the drain that we're using. So here is a StormTech drain. This StormTech drain is based on having a tile thickness of 12 millimeters, so 13 mil tray for a tile insert drain. So we need to resize this one. This one is just an image, so we see it's pixelated, so we won't be able to explode it, but we can still trace it. So we're going to stretch this. We're going to use the biggest, resize, edit, reshape, resize, and we're going to resize this based on the longest dimension, 106. R106. So we can trace that. Sometimes when I'm tracing, I'll just trace directly here. In this case, not put it on another one. Is just to use red, close, my red pen. And the advantage of using the red pen is it's just a little bit easier to see where I'm tracing. So often I will start with, I could use a fill straight away, or I could use a polyline. And then once I've created the polyline, I can then magic wand in the shape. Definitely a question of how accurate do we need to be. If we're not given a millimeter dimension, well, we could just guess, can't we? Turn off true line weight, so that's a bit easier to see. And then we'll just add in the radius. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it's just representation. Once we've finished that, we'll then use the fill tool to add in the finish. And for something like this, because it's stainless steel, generally speaking, I would just make it a solid fill. So I'll just use solid fill, and I'll normally make it just solid black. Again, I don't need so much detail. Just missing that last one, so I'll add that one in as well. There's a bit of a camber on this one, like I said, a bit of a slope, so we just want to reflect that slope. We could be tricky and just do half. I'm almost there, so I may as well keep drawing. Finish this off. Now sometimes we can download these as PDFs or DWGs and avoid that. In this case I just grabbed an image just to make it fast. And again, the point of this is that we can insert that into it. If this isn't giving us the right number, we know there's something wrong going on. So that says 106, but we see that that's completely wrong. That's not 13 at all. So how do we fix that? We're going to have to allow for more depth. Let's just get the tile in there and then we'll stretch it. R12. Make this one empty because that's not supposed to be consistent. That's supposed to just be a stand. And then we'll increase the height of this. and we'll increase the height of this by cutting it, make it into two parts. We'll move that up, and then we'll stretch that. We could have used the stretch tool, but it's fine. Now if I want to join them all back together, which makes sense, I'll do that. Plus, plus, and then get rid of the extra bits. Great. So that's our drain. Now what do we need to do? Can we sit this directly on the floor, or do we need to set it down? Ideally we set it down. Does this happen very much? Not as much as it should. So what does that mean? What we should be doing is creating a set down. And so let's get rid of this one now. So our drain can sit in here, which allows the waterproofing to go all the way underneath. And of course this lines up at some point, so that the height of our drain needs to sit just below or in line with the height of the floor. So then we'll just refer to the technical literature to find out how big that is, and of course we might actually have slight spaces on this to be able to create a silicon seal to that as well.